What's up, hi-fi fans? This is Bob from BobWire Audio. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use one of my products or multiple products to switch between a stereo amp and your home theater surround sound receiver or AVR. This allows you to seamlessly share your speakers in the two different systems. If you are using a standalone preamp and separate power amp, you can also share the power amp or amps between the two systems. This setup is often called home theater bypass. If you wanted to switch between two stereo systems or two-channel systems, these same products and techniques may be used for that also. Here are the three BobWire models we'll be talking about. We have the RCA1 for RCA audio connections, the SPK1 for speaker level connections, and the XLR1 for balance connections. In this first example, I'll show you how to switch speaker level audio using the SPK1. This allows automatic switching between the vintage receiver and a modern surround sound receiver. The speaker wire from the vintage receiver is connected to input A of the SPK1. The left and right of the surround sound receiver is connected to input B of the SPK1. The output of the SPK1 is connected to your main left and right speakers. If you also wanted to switch subwoofers, you could add the model RCA1 in addition to the SPK1. Of course, both of your components would need subwoofer outputs or preamp outputs in order to switch the subwoofers. The RCA1 and SPK1 can be set up to switch at the exact same time by linking the two products together with a 12-volt trigger cable. If your equipment has RCA preamp outputs, you would use the model RCA1. Left and right RCA connections from the first preamp would connect to input A of the RCA1. If you're using subwoofers, they can also be connected. Left and right preamp outputs from your surround sound receiver will connect to input B of the RCA1. Input A is the default input. When audio starts playing on the surround sound receiver, the RCA1 will automatically switch over to input B. The RCA1 output will connect to your power amps and subwoofers. If you have a second subwoofer, it may be connected in the same way to the subwoofer 2 input. If your preamp has balance connections, you would use the XLR1. Connect the balance connections from the first preamp to input A. In this example, the surround sound receiver only has RCA preamp outputs. Left and right preamp outputs would connect to the input B RCA inputs. The RCA inputs will be converted to a fully balanced output and sent on to the power amp. If you also have subwoofers, you can add the RCA1 to handle the switching of the subs. The two BobWire products can be linked together using a 12-volt trigger cable so that they both switch at the exact same time. Looking at a close-up of the XLR1, on the front side, we have a switch to select between balanced XLR inputs or RCA inputs, depending on your input connection type. Looking around to the control panel side, we have a switch to select between 12-volt trigger mode or automatic audio sensing mode. When set to 12-volt trigger mode, you would connect a 12-volt trigger cable between your preamp or AVR and this 12-volt input jack. We also have adjustment controls for audio sensitivity and reset delay time from 1 second to 3 minutes, which sets up how long it waits to switch back to input A after input B stops. We have power input, LED indicator lights, a 12-volt out to control your power amps if they have a 12-volt input, which will activate when input A or B is playing. And then we have a 12-volt out that's only active when input B is playing. This is useful for connecting additional BobWire products. For example, if you wanted to add subwoofer control to the XLR1, you would add the RCA1, set it to 12-volt trigger mode, and then connect the 12-volt trigger cable to the 12-volt input of the RCA1. Now the XLR1 can be set to 12-volt trigger or audio sensing, and as soon as it switches, the RCA1 will also switch at the same time. In recap, you have 3 different ways to connect your 2 different audio systems: with speaker wire using the SPK1, with RCA preamp outputs using the RCA1, and the XLR1 with balanced connections or a combination of balanced and RCA.